Which art to use in a 2D game? That was the question which I was asking myself before I started work on graphical assets for NORMA. And when I finally made a decision, I was quite sure that I picked the most suitable and, as I was naively thinking, relatively hassle-free option. Well, while the option has indeed proved to be more than suitable, let's just say I was damn wrong on the latter point. By the way, in the background it's me reworking the running animation which I already showed in a devlog before, though never showcased the process. Hello there, it's Kurzuk from Kurzuk Studio here. In this episode I'd like to go back in time again and tell you what I was choosing from in terms of graphics for my game, why I chose pixel art and how it turned out for me in the end. Before I started working on NORMA, I was still in the exploration phase, trying to see how things are working, and I used to learn by building a simple 2D runner, Rayman-like game, just running right and left, collecting stuff and locking things while clearing some very straightforward quests. But I also used to create graphical assets myself, as I was just enjoying the process. By that time I got one of those black plastic graphical tablets, so I decided to use it to literally draw stuff with a pencil-like brush. And at that time I solved the problem of character animation by drawing each body part of the character separately to animate it later. So pretty much the sprite rigging situation. And as you can see, I actually put quite an effort into creating all the small details, specifically given the fact that I didn't draw much before. But this style wasn't a suitable option for the project which I was creating in my mind at the time already. For NORMA I wanted something more sharp, less bright, and the setting in my head was completely different. I also knew that I wouldn't be able to draw at such a level which would be acceptable for me as per how I saw the drawn version. So I continued to sniff around when I suddenly realized that I already knew the style which I wanted for a game and which has always fascinated me: pixel art. Honestly, I always liked it and I always wanted to try it. Why not? It can be very sharp and, in my opinion, it perfectly fits into dystopian urban setting. And for some very silly reason I was convinced that I'll get a hang of it relatively fast. Well, I was wrong, specifically when I hit my first animation, but a bit later about it. So first, I decided to try to create an outline of the potential background building in the area, and when that was done I also colored it to see how it would look. As you can see, my very first tile map was looking very different from what I create now and what you can see in the game. I won't say worse, it's just different. I then started with another one, though shortly after I started to outline it, I realized that if I have a ready tile map, why not create a character? So be it. The only problem was that I was drawing the character on an empty canvas, so when I finished and checked if the character fits the environment, I saw right away that it's not the case at all. Though I actually like the character so much for some reason that I decided to redraw the environment to suit the character, not vice versa, and given the fact that I had only one tile map somewhere ready, it wasn't that painful at all. And that's when consistency started, as I finally began to soldier something into the project so all the tile maps were similar in style. And this tile map, by the way, I believe I never showed it before, was created about a year after I started the project and after I settled on this style. I was experimenting more with different elements and particularly shadows and depth, though obviously now it should be redrawn to be used in the project, which I actually would like to do later after the demo release. So, after creating a few tile maps, I decided to give it a go, but for this I needed, well, not that much needed, but I wanted to have a character walk animation, and that's when it hit me. While I was working on the 8 frames of animation for quite some time, I realized that pixel art, and specifically its animation, is a very laborious process. And I'm absolutely honest with myself and very well aware that I'm not creating anything complicated. And it's not like rig animation where you just draw something once, pin it at the joint and voila, the puppet is ready. No, you have to draw every frame. frame by frame, which eats a lot of time. But, truth be told, practice partially resolves the time issue, which was a concern for me for a while when I just started. Obviously, speaking of animation, I still have to draw each frame, though with every tile map, character or animation created, I would find some new technique or shape the process to make it less time consuming. And obviously, time spent on drawing reduces with experience. What I also try to do is create some art. Sometimes related to the project like this pano, or unrelated like this last Lunar New Year art card. So in the end, I stick to the style and continue learning new ways to pixel art, creating new tile maps, characters and animations. From time to time, when time permits, I just create some pixel art and obviously revisit my previously created pieces to rework them to the standard I am at the moment. That's an iterative process, but that's the way which works for me. The last bit before I wrap up the episode: persistence creates mastery. Just some food for thought. Also, your support means a lot, so if you can hit that thumbs up and subscribe buttons, that will really help to spread the word about this game. That's really it for this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, I didn't decide yet what I'll be talking about next time and whether it will be a devlog or one of these what it takes to be an indie dev videos, as I'm quite busy with a number of resources at the moment. Guys, I can tell you that the administration is just killing me. And by the way, that's something what I'll talk about for sure at some point. Also, the Steam page was approved recently, but I didn't release it yet, as I'm preparing a few things for it. And by the way, here is the running animation ready, so you could see for yourself that it might take some time to create one. Have a very nice day, night, or whichever time of the day it is for you now, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.